You work 40 to 60 hours a week. You've taken every overtime shift offered, you've skipped vacations, and you've done everything society told you was right. And still, every Friday your paycheck hits your account, and by Tuesday morning it feels like it's already gone. Not because you're careless, not because you don't care about your future, but because something quietly isn't adding up. You're tired, you're burnt out, and you're starting to realize something that doesn't feel fair. Working hard is necessary to survive, but it is not a guarantee of wealth. In fact, for most people, working harder just becomes a faster way to stay stuck. It feels like you're running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. You're putting in the effort, but you're not actually going anywhere. And if nothing changes, you can keep doing this for years and still feel exactly the same. So in this video, we're going to break down why this happens, the psychological traps that keep you there, and the small shifts that actually change the direction of your money. To understand this, you have to step back and look at the environment you're operating in. Because the rules most people were taught were built for a different time. In this economy, the cost of living has increased faster than most incomes. Rent is higher, food costs more, and everyday expenses are quietly pulling from your paycheck before you even realize it. At the same time, work itself has changed. Technology has made people more efficient, but not necessarily more valuable in terms of pay. So people respond the only way they know how. They work harder. They take on more hours, more responsibility, and more stress, believing that effort will eventually catch up to the life they are trying to build. But there is a limit that most people ignore. You only have 24 hours in a day. Your energy is limited, and your attention is finite. So if your entire strategy is built on working more, you are trying to solve an unlimited problem with a limited resource. And that is why so many people feel stuck, even when they are doing everything right. Because what determines your progress is not just how much you earn, but what happens after you earn it. Now imagine your life continuing exactly as it is. You are working, you are consistent, and over time, your effort starts to pay off. You get a raise, maybe a promotion, and your income increases. At first, it feels like progress. You finally have a little more room. And then, almost without thinking, you make a small decision. You tell yourself that you have worked hard and you deserve to feel it. So you upgrade something. It might be your apartment, your car, or simply how often you choose convenience over effort. Nothing extreme, just small improvements that feel justified. But over time, those improvements become expectations. They become fixed parts of your life that now require your income to support them. So instead of your new income creating freedom, it creates a higher baseline. And once that baseline rises, it becomes difficult to go back without feeling like you are losing something. So you keep working hard, but now your effort is not building anything new. It is maintaining what you already have. And that is how years pass while your situation feels the same. This pattern is known as lifestyle creep, and it is one of the main reasons people never build real wealth. It happens slowly and almost invisibly. Every time your income increases, your brain looks for ways to reflect that increase in your life. You want to feel progress, so you spend a little more and upgrade a little more. At first, it feels like you are moving forward, but then that upgrade becomes normal. And once it becomes normal, it stops feeling special. So your brain looks for the next upgrade to recreate that feeling. This creates a cycle where you are constantly chasing the experience of being ahead without actually getting ahead. Most people spend years trying to feel wealthy instead of becoming wealthy. And the reason this is so difficult to stop is because it does not feel like a mistake. It feels like a reward. It feels like something you earned. And when everyone around you is doing the same thing, restraint starts to feel like falling behind. But in reality, that restraint is where the shift begins. The simplest way to interrupt this cycle is to create space between earning more and spending more. The next time your income increases, do nothing for a short period of time. Let the difference sit. Because that gap is where awareness begins, and awareness is what allows you to make better decisions. There is a truth about money that most people avoid because it challenges how they think about progress. If you cannot manage a small amount of money, you will not suddenly manage a large amount effectively. Because money does not fix behavior, it amplifies it. If your habits are inconsistent now, they will be inconsistent later. If you are guessing each month or reacting instead of planning, Those patterns will follow you as your income grows. The only difference is the scale. Instead of small mistakes, you make larger ones. Instead of small stress, you feel more pressure. And this is why so many people earn more but still feel stuck. They are operating with the same habits, just with larger numbers. It is easier to believe that the solution is earning more money, but the real shift happens when you start managing what you already have. Even small amounts can build discipline. Saving consistently, even at a small level, is not about the amount itself. It is about building the identity of someone who can follow a system, because once that identity is in place, it scales naturally. Most people rely on willpower to manage their money. They tell themselves they will be more disciplined, that they will spend less, and that they will make better decisions. But willpower is not reliable. It depends on your energy, your stress level, and your environment. At the beginning of the day or the week, it feels strong. But after work, after stress, and after making decisions all day, your ability to stay disciplined decreases. That is when convenience becomes more appealing. That is when small decisions start to add up. And over time, those small decisions create patterns that are difficult to break. So if your system depends on willpower, it will eventually fail. The alternative is to reduce the number of decisions you have to make. This is where systems become powerful. Instead of deciding what to do with your money every time you receive it, you create a structure that directs your money automatically. A simple way to think about this is to divide your money into 3 categories. The first is your essential expenses, the things you must pay to maintain your life. The second is your future, which includes savings and anything that builds stability over time. The third is your flexible spending, which allows you to enjoy your life without guilt. When this system is automated, your money moves before you have the chance to spend it elsewhere. You do not have to rely on discipline in the moment, because the decision has already been made. And that is what creates consistency over time. Working hard is not the issue, but working hard without direction is one of the most expensive mistakes you can make. Effort feels productive, and being busy creates the illusion of progress. But if your effort is not connected to something that builds over time, it resets every month. You work, you earn, you spend, and then you start over. That cycle is what creates the feeling of being stuck. Not because you are not trying, but because nothing is carrying forward. Direction requires you to step back and ask a different question. Instead of asking how much you are doing, you start asking what your effort is actually building. If the answer is nothing that compounds, then your effort is not creating long-term movement, and that is where the shift needs to begin. Now imagine your life 5 years from now. You are still working, still consistent, still putting in effort, but something feels different. There is less pressure around money. There is more space in your decisions. You are not reacting anymore. You are choosing. That did not happen overnight. It came from small habits repeated consistently over time. Now imagine the opposite. Nothing changes. 5 years pass. Your income increases, but your life expands with it, and you find yourself in the same position, just at a higher level. Not failing, but not moving either. Working hard is not the problem, but working hard without a system is what keeps people stuck. Lifestyle creep quietly erases progress. More money does not fix unmanaged habits. Systems remove the need for willpower, and direction determines whether your effort compounds. So instead of trying to change everything, start with one simple step. Set up an automatic transfer, even if it is small, because you have already proven that you can work hard. Now it is time to make that work actually work for you. And if this gave you clarity, subscribe. Because this channel is about helping you think differently about money, without pressure, without hype, just real shifts that build over time.